Shannon, what was the biggest reason the Patriots won?
Jen, I think you used barely rather nicely.
Barely.
I thought they was going to get away with the game from just throwing the ball one time, Skip. I thought the run game and the defense. And people look, well, he took the ball out of Mac Jones' hands. No, he didn't. Coach Belichick probably looked at the forecast a week out and said, okay, conditions aren't going to be ideal. And the closer they got to the game, it seemed the conditions were going to get worse and worse and worse. And so he's like, hold on. Why am I going to put the ball in my rookie's quarterback hands? This team can't stop the run. Derrick Henry ran for 1 million yards. Jonathan Taylor ran for 2 million yards. The Jags beat them by running the football. We can run the football as comparable as those teams can. So we just going to line up with 6 offensive linemen. We'll line up in 12 personnel, which is 2 tight ends, and we'll bludgeon them until they surrender. Why am I going to throw the ball if you can't stop it? Skip, it's demoralizing. I've been on teams in the playoff game after we lost to the Jags, Skip, the first year in '96 in the divisional round. We played them again. We ran the ball 49 times for over 300 yards. We played Buffalo, and it wasn't quite as windy, but it was very cold because we had a blizzard, and it was tough for us to get out. We ran the ball, I think, 46 times that day. Skip, it's very demoralizing for a team when you just line up in 10 and 12 personnel, which is 2 tight ends, or you line up in 6 what we call the 6 offensive linemen, or you line up in jumbo personnel, 3 tight ends, and they just run the football down. Skip, they had 9, 10 men in the box and couldn't stop it.
Tell me when it's my turn.
Go ahead, Skip.
You ready? I'm not in the Hall of Fame, but I know a lot about football. And what I saw last night was an overrated Belichick getting real cute and getting away with it because the guy that you have loved on this show from the start, Josh Allen, is not that guy. Once again, big stage, big moment. Where are you, Josh? Shannon Sharpe told me we drafted this man.
Shannon Sharpe picked the Patriots. Shannon Sharpe picked the Patriots
I'm talking
last
about
night.
what you've told me all along about Josh Allen. They picked him for that cold weather up there. Really? I couldn't tell. 6'5", 240. I could not tell. Would you help me out here? How many points did the Patriots score last night?
More than the Bills.
14 points. 14 points. Help me out. Look at your stats over there.
Yeah.
What were they on third down last night? 2 of 12, and they got away with it. Is this not an indictment of Mac Jones? Because to me, this is saying I have no regard for my rookie quarterback because I won't even let him throw with the wind last night, and I got away with it, and I'm about to demonstrate how many times they got away with it because Josh Allen stunk it up again and again and again and again. He was handed opportunity after opportunity after opportunity and could not cash. That's what happened last night. The genius got away with an outrageous game plan of just trying to run it because Buffalo's not that bad against the run. They're 12th against the run, so help me out.
So what happened
222 yards.
So what did Jonathan Taylor do to him up there?
He did.
Okay, what about Derrick Henry? What did he do to him?
Well, not that much.
Not that much?
Yeah.
Do you remember that
this year?
Yes. Do you remember that Monday night game?
Yeah,
when Derrick Henry broke up the 75-yarder and went for like $180?
Yeah.
Okay,
and who should have won that game?
Skip.
Well, Buffalo should have won that game.
Okay,
if Josh Allen can make one more play.
Well, Buffalo should have won the game.
Every time they have a chance to make plays, he doesn't make the plays. You've told me all year. You've loved Buffalo all year. I haven't. I keep telling you, I'm not buying into this because every time this young quarterback gets his opportunity, he comes up small. That's what happened. Want me to start out? What happened right away? They get the ball at their own 48 on their first possession. And what happens? This is where you take it to them. You got the wind at your back and you go 3 and out and you punt. Second possession off a poor New England punt of only 15 yards. They get it at the New England 40-yard line. And what happened? Breida fumbles right away. Breida fumbles.
That's Josh Allen's fault?
Well, it's obviously I'm about to get to a whole bunch of Josh Allen. If you'll just hang on tight because I hope you watched what I saw. Maybe I got to get a new TV. I don't know. But then we get to the fourth possession, and that was the one where the ball grazes off N'Keal Harry's face mask, and they get it to 14, and that's the only time they cashed all night. And he hit Gabriel Davis on a little quick slant.
So both teams scored off turnovers.
Okay, yep, they did. And then here we go. If we could go to the end of this game, You get 2 shots in the red zone in the fourth quarter. You have to cash. You have to come away with some points, because if you can even just make field goals, and I know it was a really tough field goal night, but if you can just get something out of these 2 possessions, you're going to win this football game, because Belichick is teetering. He is in the biggest trouble because this is at Buffalo against Josh Allen. And let's go to the first possession if we could. It's 9:04 left in the game. They get 4 straight plays in the red zone. And why would you even try to run it? They haven't been able to run all night. They got no run game, obviously. And then here's the second play. This is just bad football. You cannot take a sack that deep. That's on Josh Allen. Here's the third play. And he flips it up and he just airmails. That's against the wind. He airmails Dawson Knox. And here's the field goal, of course.
That's Josh Allen's fault. He kicked it. He should have put it up right. Okay,
but how can the kicker not know what the wind drift is there? Because you have to know. It's a chip shot field goal. It's it's inside of an extra point. You got to be able to make that from 33 yards. And he starts it too far to the right, obviously, and he gets blown to the right. Okay, so now we go to the end of the game. Let's go to 2nd and 9 at the 13. This is another big red zone drive. You get it inside the red zone, and here's the first play. You have to make this throw. This is for the game. That's the game right there, and he misses Diggs. He's just high, wide right. Well, what he does best is throw it against the wind. All the stats say he's actually better against the wind than with the wind. Well, you airmailed him wide right. You cannot do that. So then we got a 3rd and 9. They have a false start, so it becomes a 3rd and 14 at the 18. And here we go again. And he runs around, and he tries to force it up to Dawson Knox.
And guy makes a great play.
Adrian Phillips is all over.
Made a great play.
If you see it from the end zone, he's just not open. It's just a desperation heave. And Dawson Knox, they showed him on ESPN before the game. He's out there in his T-shirt, roaring like a caveman. I got this. Well, you don't got that one. I'm sorry, you don't got that. This is a play that just has to be made, and he just throws it up. It's desperation, didn't work. And now we get to the fateful final play of the game on 4th and 14, and I have no idea what Josh Allen is doing on this play, because he's got Cole Beasley open. He's got him open. And what are you trying to... Are you going to try to throw it to Cole Beasley? He's dead wide open. Right. You could hit him right at the goal line. I don't know if he aimed this at Cole and the wind got it. I don't know if it's for Gabriel Davis on the deeper post in the back of the end zone. Either way, it's a bad idea both ways. It's a terrible throw. And you wind up with, you lost 14-10 at home?
Let me explain the play to you. It's the exact same play Detroit ran for the game winner. You run 1 through to have 2 on the backside that's wide open. You're right.
Detroit one? That was a stop route in the end zone.
But I'm saying, but they ran one through. The guys playing outside leverage. What he thought they were going to be playing outside leverage. If I run 1 through, it's going to be wide open. There was no reason for Bryant.
They came with what you call bomb blitz 22 man. Bomb blitz 22 man.
Zero blitz.
Okay, yeah. And here we go. And again,
that's Coach Belichick's MO, Skip.
Myles Bryant is just sort of playing center field on it. He is beaten by Cole Beasley. If Josh Allen comes straight up and looks and fires to Cole Beasley, who will catch those balls, he will catch those balls. It could be game over.
It was game over. But let me tell you why he didn't. Because he made his mind up when he left the huddle. 1 is going to clear, and I'm throwing the 2. He did not read that, because had he read that, like you said, Bryant never moves. Skip, the guy, Cole Beasley, you never let a guy cross your place on 0 blitz. But this is Coach Belichick's MO. What did he do in the Super Bowl, Skip, against the Giants? When they got close, he brought bomb blitz, right? He brought 0 blitz, and it was like, no, we need to get up out of this. It was too late. I called it. I'm going with it. But here's the thing, what you didn't show. Show that play where Josh Allen hit Stephon Diggs in his arms on the goal route.
Okay, I had it. I was going to get to it.
Okay, so that's Josh Allen's fault?
No, it's the only throw he made all night.
And that'd have been enough to win the game.
Should have been.
That'd have been enough to win the game.
8:30 left in the third quarter. It's with the wind. The ball is going to do a lot of funky stuff in the air, but it comes down and it kind of fooled Diggs. You got to catch it. You just got to catch it. It suddenly dropped right into his arms. It's ball game. It's ball game. So he missed Diggs down on the goal line the other way, but he hit him here. You just have to make that catch. If you're that team at that moment against your arch nemesis that has owned you within the division, you just have to make one play. That was a one-play game that never got made by Buffalo.
But that was the thing.
one
Skip.
play.
And it comes. You're right. Okay, he missed Diggs, but he had an opportunity. If they make that play there, now you put pressure. Can you run the ball? Can you still run the ball? Now they never made Coach Belichick put the ball in Mac Jones' hands. As long as Mondre Stevens, they better be glad Damian Harris' ankle or foot started bothering him, because he might have ran for 272 yards.
Well, he escaped for 64, and that was really the game. That put them in position to win the game.
But you remember in the third quarter, he broke another one and started hobbling, and then they brought
pulled his hamstring.
Okay, and then they brought Stevenson in the game.
And quick thought on Ramondre Stevenson. You can look at my timeline. I tweeted as soon as they stole him in the draft on draft day. I tweeted in the 4th round, he will be you can look it up. He will be a star if Belichick lets him. And last night on the telecast, I know you don't listen to the sound, they were raving all night about how Ramondre Stevenson is becoming a star.
Yeah.
He helped make Lincoln Riley a year ago. He kept him afloat because he is 250 pounds, and he's got dancing bare feet. He can really move. He can really catch. They have not utilized that yet. They have not maximized or flaunted that yet. But he is a star in the making, but he fumbled early and got in the doghouse, and he's just now emerging. But he could be a threat down the stretch that they haven't had since LeGarrette Blount.
Right. And in conditions like this, Skip, this is the type of guy that you need, the way they power the football. But, Skip, there's not very many times that I can recall in my 20-plus years of covering Coach Belichick while I was a player, but my last, say, 15 years of covering Coach Belichick, I don't think I can recall more than a handful of times that you left a game and says, Coach Belichick should have done this offensively, or he should have done this defensively. Coach Belichick, the one thing about him you can honestly say, he's a chameleon. He doesn't do what he good. He does what you can't stop. Buffalo couldn't stop the run. Why would I ever put the ball in a quarterback's hand in those kinds of conditions if you can't stop me just turning around and hand it? It's a lot easier, Skip, for me to turn around, hand the ball to Stevenson, hand the ball off to Damian Harris, occasionally give it to Bolden, as opposed to putting up in the air and the wind is blowing it all over the place. Why would I do that? Defensively, you look at what he does, Skip, nobody coaches it up. There is no reason. Because remember, Skip, the only reason the kid is in the game is because Douglas is out. And remember, Adrian Phillips got hurt like the second to the last play of the game. He has no business. He's the backup to a backup. And he's in the game in the biggest moment. Malcolm Butler. That just goes to show you the level of coaching, the level of detail that comes down to it, because sometimes, like you said, it comes down to a play. Now, this kid could have been in the back sleeping. He could have been dozing off. He could have been not paying attention. But for some reason, Coach Belichick coached that up. Because if he didn't, Coach Belichick is going to ream him. Because he left Cole Beasley wide open and Josh Allen could have pulled up. But maybe they knew they're going to run one through in order to hit two on the backside. Maybe they counted the way we counted 1, 2. Some people count outside 1, inside 2. However you count it. But what they were trying to do was try to clear and just bring the slant in on the backside. And the kid, for whatever reason, he was there and knocked it down. And like you said, yes, games like this come down to one play. That's what it comes down to, Skip. It's going to come down to one play, because the conditions are not going to let you allow you to throw the ball all over the field. Coach Belichick has his guys ready. They're peaking at the ideal time. This is what they normally do. When it gets colder, they get hotter. You got your hands full, AFC, dealing with this team. When you can go, Skip, and win a football game on the road, and all you do is throw it 3 times now, I don't want people to think that, that's going to be their formula. That was the formula for that game. That was a special. You go to a restaurant, they say, would you like to hear about the specials, Mr. Bayless? We have a few features that's not on the menu. Yep. That wasn't on the menu last night. He served that up just because.
And he got away with it just because Josh Allen and company, and I'll throw in Stephon Diggs, couldn't make one play. If you told me going in that Bill Belichick would wind up with 14 points, I'd say Buffalo wins that game. Right. I don't care if the wind's blowing 1,000 miles an hour. Buffalo should win that game at home.
Well, I knew you. Well, I think the over-under was like 40 points. I'm like, they're not even getting to 30 points.
Well, it kept plummeting before the game as the wind kept increasing.
30 and 40 mile an hour gusts.
I told you yesterday it was going to average 25 miles an hour, but I think it was gusting to 50 miles an hour. Okay? So I got it. And it's like unpredictable gusts against field goals. So it's hard
You
to
see
deal
everybody
with.
punting the ball. They punting the ball, and the ball going out the end zone. Every time the guy's on his own 20 and he punts the ball, he goes out the end zone.
Okay, but Sean McDermott said after the game, we're going to talk deeper about this in a few minutes, but Sean McDermott said, if you'd told me before the game that this is where we would have our starting field position, these would be our opportunities, he'd say, I would have been extremely comfortable with that. Well, he would have, because Buffalo's starting field position for the whole night was its own 40-yard line. New England's starting field position was its own 23. Well, in a game that's a one-play game, you would say, huge advantage to home team.
Right.
Well, you have to cash.
Yes.
Right away, if you get the ball all the way out at your 48-yard line for your first offensive possession, you have to go get 3. You just have to. You got the win.
You need 2 first downs and you're in field goal range.
If you can just get 3 there, it's going to tilt the playing field back in your favor. And then on the second position, they get it all the way down the New England 40, and Breida, who's new to them and not one of their guys, he's not one of their core players. Right. They had a couple of decent gains, and then Breida fumbles. Well, you can't fumble. And again, the turnovers were 1-to-1, so each team sort of handed the other team a gift.
Because that's how both teams scored their touchdowns on those turnovers.
They did. So in the end, I look at my stat sheet, and New England was 0 of 1 in the red zone. Well, Buffalo was 1 of 4 in the red zone. Well, you're going to lose. You're just, I'm sorry. In the end, that's end of story.
Right.
So in the end, Josh Allen is 15 of 30 for 145 yards, QBR of 20. It's just, he's better than that, you would think. He was drafted to be better than that. And I believe Buffalo will wake up this morning, they get another shot, they get another crack back in New England in two weeks. Okay, but they have to just shake their head and say, somebody had to make a play, and it has to start with our quarterback. And then it goes to our star wide receiver. Somebody's just got to make one play. And again, we're also going to talk about how the 2 safeties, Poyer and Micah Hyde, got mad at a reporter's question after the game. Well, they got mad. Were you embarrassed by how you got run on? Well, they're embarrassed that they lost the game, but to their point, they sat there and looked at each other like, we just allowed 14 points. How it wasn't like it was 40 to 6. It wasn't like you got run out of your stadium. You did not get run out of your stadium.
You didn't?
No.
Now, I remember a Super Bowl when Coach Belichick defense gave up 17 points, and you blamed the defense. Now, all of a sudden, you're blaming offense. Oh, how soon we forget?
Which Super Bowl you're speaking
The
of?
Super Bowl, they lost to the Giants.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Belichick's defense held them to 17 points.
Yeah, but when was that? It's when you play defense or don't play defense. Yes. Because Tom Brady did what Tom Brady always does.
14.
He drove them 80 yards and hit Randy Moss with the touchdown pass to put them up 14-10 with 2 minutes to go. And you're up against some kid named Eli Manning that nobody sees
the number 1 overall draft pick.
And he goes 75 yards on Bill Belichick's defense to score. You don't need a field goal. You need a touchdown. And Belichick's defense spit the bit and allowed a touchdown?
I'm just trying to figure out how the first player to win the MVP unanimously could only get 14 points. But we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about that
enough?
No. Clearly it wasn't.
Well, guess who got overrated in that game? Belichick did, because he couldn't stop Eli from 75 yards away to keep him out of the end zone.
I think the man in the arena, I think they're talking about that game tonight. You should pay attention to that. You should watch that story. But anyway, I thought Coach Belichick did an outstanding job of preparing his team, and he does a great job of that, of preparing his team for no matter what. That's why he wets the football and they win and all this stuff going. More times than not, they're practicing outside as opposed to inside, because you never know, especially Buffalo. There's something about Buffalo, and I know a lot of people, fans, haven't gone to Buffalo. I've played in Buffalo on several occasions. And
I have covered games on many occasions in Buffalo.
And I've never been able to skip. I've never been there and got idea. It's always raining, snowing, or very windy. Whether it's September, October, November, December, I'm like, well, damn, does the sun ever shine in Buffalo? Because I can't tell.
You're too close to that lake, and the wind is going to blow off the lake.
Yes, and it's cold, it's damp, it's raining. And so for them to do that, Skip, you got to go back. I can't, like I said, I've run the ball. I've been in the situation, Skip, 49 times. We've run the ball 49 times against Jacksonville. Actually, we ran it 46 times against Buffalo in 97. And, Skip, it's demoralizing. It's demoralizing to me because I'm saying if y'all stop them, we'll throw it. But if y'all don't stop TD, y'all keep letting them get 12, 8, 7. Why would we ever throw it if you can't stop that? Coach Belichick said, we getting first down after first down after first down. Why would I want to throw it?
Although you didn't get that many first downs because Buffalo had 16 to your 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was how they got the 11. Skip, it was the time of possession. They just churn it. It's Skip, can you imagine? You got 10 guys in the box. You see 6 offensive linemen. And you like a fullback, running back, and a tight end. Oh, they running the football. And
If I'm Mac Jones and I wake up this morning, I'm thinking, gee, does he just not really like me? Does he not respect me?
If I'm Mac Jones this morning, I got more touchdowns than all the other rookie quarterbacks combined. I'm about to be Offensive Rookie of the Year, and I'm about to take a team to the playoffs in my rookie season.
So I completed 2 passes last night, says Mac Jones, and one of them was a horrendous overthrow that Jonnu Smith snagged, and I don't know how he caught it, but with one hand he caught it, and the other one was a screen pass. Really? That's all you completed for the whole game?
If I'm Mac Jones, MJ10, I would refer to him as MJ10.
Yeah, okay, MJ10.
Yeah, MJ10. He's like, I won. I'm the number 1 seed in the AFC. How many rookies can ever say that? They've been the number 1 seed in the AFC. Maybe Big Ben when they went 15-1 that year. Outside of that, I'm it. Coach Belichick, you did it again.
So was that Mac Jones, what was his MJ10? Is that MJ10's signature win last night?
It's a win.
Okay, have they had a signature win? Because I can't find one on these results.
Yes, you can.
I don't see one.
Hold up. What's Tampa's signature win?
All
you do is just keep
How
stepping.
about at Belichick? How about that? How about Dallas?
You have little to no respect for Mac Jones. You have little to no respect for Coach Belichick. So how significant of a win is it if you got little to no respect for the coach and the quarterback?
They lost their first 4 home games this year.
And
how do you do that?
How you lose your first 4 home games and you the number 1 seed in the AFC?
Because you beat the Jets twice and you beat Carolina with Sam Darnold? I'll give you that. Way to go. Congratulations.
He beat Sam Darnold with Carolina? Is that the same Carolina that's in your division that you played twice? What about the Atlanta Falcons? That you played twice? It's funny. You know, all of a sudden, Atlanta and Carolina is terrible if they play the Patriots. But they're world beaters when they play Tampa when you try to hype the other situation. I'm not going to let you get away with it. I told you, you betting against Coach Belichick. We're going to talk about it a little later.
Yes,
this is a masterpiece.
Okay.
This is a masterpiece.
Are they going to be the number 1 seed in the AFC?
Uno.
Yes?
Uno.
Huh? Who has the better shot at being number 1 seed, Tampa or Belichick?
We had this conversation a week ago. I told you you asked me a week ago, Jenny posed the question, who has a better chance of reaching the Super Bowl, the Patriots or the Bucs? If you don't refresh the people at home recollection what I said.
I don't remember.
You do remember, Skip Bayless.
All I know is you picked Tampa and Kansas City to get to the Super Bowl.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. Who did I pick last night for this old case of do you that I had?
We didn't have a case of do.
You keep reneging.
I don't renege. You just fake it. You make it up. You fantasize it.
Did I not pick Buffalo last night?
You did.
I mean, no, not Buffalo, New England.
You picked New England.
Who did you pick?
I picked Buffalo.
Okay, why would you pick it?
I thought Josh Allen at home surely can win this game, and was I ever wrong?
Why would you ever pick against the GOAT? Why would you ever pick Coach Belichick?
Are we calling him the GOAT again? Oh,
yeah, he the GOAT.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.